What music they make. Metal. Global.
Sejam bem-vindos a mais um podcast de Metal Global. Hoje a conversa é com os Angus Mcsix, eles que editaram muito recentemente o seu novo trabalho, intitulado Angus Mcsix and All-Seeing Astral Eye. O álbum foi lançado dia 13 de março pela Napalm Records e vou estar à conversa com o Sib e com o Samuel, que é o novo vocalista dos Angus Mcsix, para contarem tudo sobre o novo trabalho. Já sabem que tem a versão rádio em exclusivo na RTP Play, a passar por lá e procurar por Metal Global. Vamos então à entrevista com Sib e com Samuel dos Angus Mcsix para contarem tudo sobre a novidade Angus Mcsix and All-Seeing Astral Eye. Hello. Hello, Sib, how are you? I can hear you and I can see you perfectly. How are you?
Amazing. I'm great. I think Sam is coming as well.
Very
because
good.
I just saw that he's in the same document. There's, yeah.
Busy days?
Yeah, busy days these days. Totally. Yeah.
But good busy. Good busy.
Good busy, yeah. But I really could take some time off anytime soon. It would be nice. Like,
Will you? And there's Sam.
Hey,
How are you?
Hello.
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Everything is good. Just talking with Sib. He wants to go on holidays, but he's probably not sure if he's going.
I need holidays, man.
I bet you do.
Did you ever stop, working on music in the last year?
I didn't stop working on music in the last 20 years or something. I'm serious. The last time I can remember that I really took something like a holiday, this was 2019, I think. And then I was gone with my wife for like 1 week to the North Sea or something. And this is the only time I can actually remember. And this was just, like I said, just 1 week. And of course, the cell phone was ringing all the time anyway. So... yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about the new record from Angus Mcsix, and we can start with Sam. He's the new guy in the band, or one of the new guys in the band. How did it come about, to join, besides, avenge your brother somehow?
Well, I got a call from Zeb, correct me if I'm wrong here, Zeb, but it was like 1.5 years ago or something. Or maybe it was even slightly longer than that, the first call. And Zeb explained the situation with the band and said that he needs a new singer in the band. And since me and Zeb, we know each other since my other band, Manimal, toured as support for Ordenogan on their Book of Ogan tour in 2016. So we, had stayed in contact since then. And obviously, I was one of the guys who Zeb came to think about when he needed somebody to fill in the vocalist shoes. I got the call and I must admit that I was a little bit skeptical in the beginning, not because I loved the first Angus Mcsix album, so that was not the problem, but I was not sure if I would be able to pull it off actually, but Zeb, he was convincing, and we stayed in contact, and we spoke like every, I don't know, second week or something, and eventually he made me believe in myself and believe in the that I would be able to do something, bring something new to the table when it comes to Angus Mcsix, and he eventually convinced me, and haven't regretted it since the day.
Cool.
Let me set this straight. He was not one of the guys. He was the guy. You know, it's, when we knew we wanted to continue without Tom, it was like we were thinking about who could do this, and I was like, we need to have the perfect person for the job, and if that doesn't work, then I'm not going to continue this. And there was just the one guy where I thought, okay, this guy can pull it off and is even stronger than Winkler is on vocals, and this is Sam. That was the only guy. So he's always playing it down a little bit. That's the way it is. That's also very, very nice character trait, but it was inaccurate. He was the guy.
And so you start working on songs like for the last year and a half, 2 years already for this album?
Sorry, again?
You start working on songs for this album like a couple years ago already?
No, the thing is, I was also thinking about when this actually happened that I got in touch with Sam. I think it was by the end. Let me think. I mean, we did. No, I will have to look it up, but it was a little earlier, I think, than he thought. But then we got in touch. But the thing is, when we did the debut record, we had so much stuff written. That we basically we didn't discarded songs because they were not good. We would just put them on hold because we had so much of it, you know, and we just put like cherry picked the best ones or the ones that were finished the most at that point. So we had a lot of stuff left over from the writing of the first record anyway. And once it was clear that we're working with Sam, we were adjusting a lot of that stuff to him, of course, and of course writing new stuff that because it's very inspiring when you get to work with a singer like this.
Yeah. And Sam, when you heard obviously the new material, it's not that much different from the first Angus Mcsix record, but what was your approach, vocally and knowing the band and what it's about and the fan base as well. What was your approach vocally? I mean, let's just say you do an amazing job on the records, so there is no doubt you do an amazing job on it, but what was your approach going into the recording of this album?
Yeah, well, I said to Zib that since my biggest strength is my high pitch vocals, I want them to be present on the album. But also, I know that Zib's also fond of like my mid range as well. So therefore, the songs ended up in a mixture of everything, all my range. Even I had the opportunity to try to sing some falsetto and some stuff that I haven't actually tried on record before. So that was really inspiring for me to be able to explore my vocal range and my different kinds of voices that's suited for different kinds of songs and parts of songs. But from the very beginning, Zeb said that I don't want you to do a copy of Winkler. I want you to do your own thing. And therefore, you will be a brand new character in the Angus Mcsix universe. So therefore, just go in and do your thing, and it'll all be fine.
And it's all fine. And see, for when you heard you all knew Sam vocal range, but when you heard him singing, the songs, and you realized that, this is the guy, obviously, and you mentioned that inspired you as well. Did you change a lot on the arrangements? Did you realize what he could do, and you're like, let's push this guy to the limits? Or did you?
Yes. The Fire of Yore, I think this is, you have to be born to sing a song like this. They go, there's metal! And, no, of course, this is the one thing. Yeah, of course, we pushed him to the limits and we wrote the songs accordingly. And but on the other hand, like he said, I think he has got a very, very strong mid-range, like this Ronnie James Dio, James Hetfield kind of stuff. He can do this just as well. as the soft, higher stuff that sounds more like pop music, and also, of course, the power scream. So that's the great thing about Sam. You can basically throw everything at him, and it still works. Yeah.
And he does a great job at it. Sam, what was, from the songs on this record, which one was the, you had like more fun singing, and which one for you was the hardest, where you were thinking, probably I cannot pull this off, but you managed to do it?
Yeah, I'd say one of the most fun songs to record and sing. I think it must be the latest single, "Dig Down," because I got to do something. I'm singing in the verses really, really soft, and that was something I had never tried before. Of course, I tried it in the shower maybe, but not on a recording, and not live. So that was very fun to get to try out something like that, and I think it worked really well. And I know that Zib pushed me. I tried to sing softer and softer, and Zib said, no, it's supposed to be even softer than that. So in the end, it almost was just air coming out, and I would try just to form some notes to it, and we were sitting. I remember sitting laughing in the studio when we listened to the recorded material, and said that this is great, but I think the hardest song for me to record, and I almost got angry with Zib at one point trying to record it. Let's see, there must be Starlight Stronghold, because it's really fast. You have to. I'm singing the lyrics really fast, and at one point I just told Zib that you should hire Eminem or somebody to do this, because I can't do it, But a lot of retakes on that one. Eventually we got it right, and but that was a tough one. That was a really tough one, And you stumble on words, trying to sing them that fast, and yeah.
Cool.
I think when I remember correctly, I think the most difficult one for you actually was the Fire of Yore, because he was. It is like, when you play guitar or when you play drums, you can pull this off whatever you held this, But when Sam came here, he didn't have his best day, and we basically just had like one day to record this, and so he was really fighting through. But I'm glad, like in the end, you don't hear anything about this. It sounds like we had a lot of very, very good takes that we could use, but it was like he was at 70% of what he could normally do, and he was like, fuck, man, like almost getting depressed, but we managed to pull it off, nevertheless, But I think, like from what I remember, like everything else felt like a walk in the park, but that one was really, was really exhausting.
That was a tough one, yeah.
And you mentioned Dig Down. That's the one with Van Canto as guests there on the. It's one of my favorites actually on the record. I love the ending part of the song. So you have quite a few guests on these records. Van Canto got Rhapsody, Freedom Call, and you got that Finnish band, which I don't dare to say their name because it's... Okay, that's the one, yes.
Maybe the Swedish guy can say it in a better way than I can.
No. I find it really hard as well.
But how did you come about, asking these bands to... Were you already thinking of, that this song needed a guest, and you thought which, singer, band, whatever, could fit? How did that came about for these records?
It really depends on the song. You might know that I'm working as a producer generally in the studio. I've been over the years. So, like with Rhapsody of Fire, for instance, we're just friends, and so that was just a natural thing to do. Especially because the part was halfway written before anyway, and I was like, okay, this somehow sounds like a Rhapsody of Fire part, and maybe that would make sense to just put them in. As for Van Canto, I always thought that this would be nice to mix them with real guitars, and so we were friends for years as well. Same with Freedom Call. I think we toured with them with Ordnung the first time in 2013 or something. The only thing that was not naturally was Turmi and Kettilöt, and that was when we wrote this song Techno Man. We were like, this would be actually this part here would actually be nice for a guest. And I was like, but the only band I can, or the only two bands I could imagine doing a part like this, like in a song like this, would be Electric Callboy or Scooter. And both are like obviously too big right now to ask them from our side. And so we're like, okay, so maybe not. And then a friend of ours who was working at the record company, she was like, this sounds like a part for Turmi and Kettilöt. I was like, I've never heard about them. And then we looked up a couple of their videos and everything. We're like, yeah, that's the same level of crazy. We should do it. And wrote an email to the management, which another friend of ours brought us in contact with the guy, in contact with the guy, in touch with the guys. And so just one mail to the management, and like 4 or 5 hours later, it was clear that they are going to do this. So this was also very, very smooth. Yeah.
Cool. And Sam, do you enjoy these collaborations as well? After listening to the final result, do you think like, why are they wasting my time here?
No, not at all. Actually, the quite opposite, because I think each one of them lifts each one of those songs to another level. I think, I think, and the variation of the whole album as well, and the guest performances contributes to the variation as well. And I think quite the opposite. I would say it's I think they're all awesome, and it's the perfect match for each one of those songs, I think.
Yeah. And see if you feel the same, these add like extra value to the songs. It's just not a collaboration just for the sake of it. It actually adds something to the songs.
Yes.
So otherwise they wouldn't be there. And, obviously with a new album comes a new tour. You guys already have some shows lined up for March and April. And Sam, I have to talk to you about the helmet that you wear. Is that an heavy, is it really heavy? Because it looks heavy.
No, actually it isn't. I would lie if I said that it's comfortable to wear the whole suit with the helmet and everything, but it's comfortable enough to be able to perform and sing in it. Sometimes the helmet moves around a little bit, which can be a little bit annoying. But overall, I would say that the designer that made the costume is really good, and she really wanted it to be not too warm to wear it on stage, and also that it was important that I'm able to move while I have it on. So I think it's perfectly fine.
And you guys looking forward to bring these new songs to the live stage? Are you guys, no. CP's like, no. Just come on, let's be serious now for a moment. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we are looking forward to that tour. I mean, we got an amazing billing together there, Angus Mcsix, Bloodbound, Brainstorm. It's like the first thing we're going to do for that record. There's not much more happening on the live front. We're playing Masters of Rock in summer. But the idea was to release the record, do the tour, see where we are at as a band, and then continue pretty straight away with other singles and new stuff that will be coming out already in that running year. So we'll focus on festivals in 2027 mainly. And maybe there's something else coming up for the end of the year, but that's still in discussions, and it is. It's like always moving.
Cool. And Sam, do you have any favorite song from this new record, or from the first record, that you think will, that you really enjoy singing? I mean, you probably won't have that much time on stage anyway, like 40 minutes, 45 maybe. So, but you have like a favorite song already?
Yeah, I have a couple, I would say, and it depends. If you would have asked me a couple of weeks ago, I maybe have replied differently, because since I've been listening to these songs for such a long time now, I find my new favorites almost one each week. And one of my absolute favorites right now, which I looking forward to do live, is Technomen. And yeah, it's going to be exciting to see how that turns out in a live situation, with all these electronic elements going on at the same time as the live music. It's going to sound slightly different from the album, but I think in a good way. So right now, it would be Technoman. If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I would probably have said Dig Down. But yeah, and you ask me 2 weeks from now, it's something different.
And, one of the questions that you guys put on social media, it's like if they know your name. Do people know your name now?
Hopefully.
So what's your name? I can't remember. Adam?
I think it was Alan.
And, I mentioned the live shows. You guys are playing Epic Fest in Denmark as well in April. And I'm going there, by the way. So it's, the lineup it's quite good. For last year was really good as well, and this year looks great. So I decided just to let's go to the Scandinavian countries and just enjoy a bit of power metal. And I'm looking forward to see you guys. I mean, I've seen the previous Angus Mcsix band when they played Portugal. I think Sib remembers that day. Is there any chance that you guys can come back to Portugal? Is there any discussions or anything?
That festival was amazing. I would love to go there again. So, and I think that our booking agent is in touch with them. So I think there's a good chance that we'll do this again. Yeah.
Cool. So we'll wait for that. And new music. I mean, this album obviously is still coming out. You mentioned new music. So that's the plan, after this tour, it's try to put some new music out, focus on probably this third record, and then see where it goes from there. Yeah?
Yes. Though I have to say that a lot of like pop music acts, and also if you look like to like rap and all this kind of stuff, a lot of bands go away from this traditional record or album thing and release more singles. And I think this is a nice strategy as well, like to give people more music in a shorter period of time instead of like working for so long on a record and then just release that every 2 or 3 or 4 years, depending on what the band is. So we're trying to do this a little bit more, like to have more singles and more stuff in between, and then we can put that on the record later as well. But I think it's actually a good thing. I like this a lot when there's a lot of stuff coming from the bands that I like.
Cool. And Sam, do you agree with that? This new, way of consuming music, more singles instead of waiting 2 years for an album?
Yeah, totally. Even though I'm an album guy, I totally get the idea of releasing singles, because that's the way that people listen to music nowadays. They pick the cherries out of the cake, and listen to their favorite songs. And so definitely. And as a fan myself to different bands, I would say that I would prefer having new music from them more on a regular basis rather than waiting for a couple of years for a whole album. So definitely I'm in.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of Guns N' Roses, you wait at least 10 years for an album.
Exactly.
Anyway, and Steve, you're always a busy man. You mentioned you produce, you have obviously Ordenogan. What are the upcoming projects or, music that will put out? Ordenogan, let's say, is there anything in the works for you guys?
Yeah, there will be a new Ordenogan record in the beginning of 2027. It's called The Lords of the Grave, which is already in. Also, the tour is already booked, European tour, and it's also already in pre-sale. Funny side note is the record is not finished yet, but this is how it is these days. So you have to start early with everything. But I think the cover is amazing, and the first tracks that are getting ready right now are also amazing. It's like what you would expect from Ordenogan. So that is the beginning of 2027, and then we'll have to see where we go from there.
Cool. And Sam, for you, music-wise, can we expect anything other than Angus Mcsix, or are you just going to wait to see what happens?
No, actually, trying to, in between, to work on new songs with my other band, Manimal, to release an album in late 2026 or early 2027. Let's see. We need to finish the songs first, and then we have to see when it will be out. And so I keep myself busy as well. Maybe not as busy as Zeb, but
I don't think it's difficult to be as busy. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for your time. All the best for Angus Mcsix. Hopefully, we'll see you guys in Roskilde, Denmark at Epic Fest. I'm really looking forward for that festival. Should be really, really fun. I'll see you guys there, and then hopefully you guys can come back to Portugal for a festival and have some fun as well. All right?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening, and see you soon. All right? Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Metal Global foi a conversa com Sib e Samuel dos Angus Mcsix para contarem tudo sobre a novidade Angus Mcsix and the All-Seeing Astral Eye. O álbum foi lançado no dia 13 de março pela Napalm Records e é um excelente trabalho para quem gosta de Power Metal. Já sabem então que tem a versão rádio exclusiva na RTP Play, a passar por lá e procurar por Metal Global. Para além das músicas de Angus Mcsix, temos também novidades em ao vivo, Master Plan e também Sabaton. Se tiverem dúvidas ou sugestões, podem enviar e-mail para jorge.botas@rtp.pt. Visitem o site metalglobal.pt e sigam-me no Twitter e Instagram @mountainking. Façam like na página de Facebook do Metal Global e se estão a ouvir esta versão em Apple Podcasts, Spotify ou YouTube Music, subscrevam para não perder nenhum episódio. Eu volto no próximo programa. Um forte abraço.
Children of the night, you will live through the centuries to come, as I have lived. Good night.